we have seen federal constitution as a whole. Now we're moving on to the second part of the written law, which is state constitution. Now, this state constitution possesses its own constitution. So, if you are from Perak, you can see that Undang-Undang Tubuh Kerajaan Perak, or you can see Undang-Undang Tubuh Kerajaan Negeri Sembilan. So all these constitution, they regulates the government of that particular state. So basically, the state constitution contains provisions enumerated in its schedule under the federal constitution. So Article 160 of the Federal Constitution defines state law. Please have a look at Article 160 Clause 2 of Federal Constitution, which defines state law as any existing law relating to matters with respect to which the legislature of a state has power to make laws. Okay, so basically in each state we have this Ahli Dewan Undangan Negeri who actually constitute part of the legislature who will make law, and this particular constitution is a law made by the legislature of the state. Okay, so what does it mean by state law? Section 3 of the Interpretation Act 1948 defines state law as a law made by a legislature of a state or any other law in force which relates to the matter to which the legislature of the state has the power to make or amend the law. So we know that each state has his own constitution. So mostly state constitution deals largely with land matters, agriculture, forestry, local government, and Islamic law. So these are the 5 areas which actually dealt by the Constitution. Again, land matters, agriculture, forestry, local government, and Islamic law. Now, under the 8th schedule of the Federal Constitution, it provides for the provisions to be inserted in the state constitution. So, what are those provisions? Okay, basically they have 3 parts. Part 1 is the final provisions, impartial treatment of state employees, amendment to constitution, and any other provision with respect to state of Malacca, Penang, Sabah, and Sarawak. And part 2, there's temporary provisions alternative to provisions part 1, and part 3 is on the modification of part 1 and part 2 in relation to Malacca and Penang. So basically, this particular schedule, okay, they have these so-called essential provisions, essential provisions that they must put in, which is governed by Article 71, Clause 4 of the Federal Constitution. So the essential provisions that you must have in the state constitution are the first one, rulers to act on advice. Second one, executive council. And lastly, the state legislature. So basically, Article 71, Clause 4 was meant for harmonious integration with Federal Constitution. So, although Federal Constitution is the main body, so that particular Federal Constitution give powers to the state legislature to have their own laws with respect to each state, so long that those laws enacted by the state constitution does not inconsistent with the Federal Constitution. Okay, so if a state constitution does not contain those provisions of the Article 71 Clause 4, or provisions that are substantially the same, Parliament may legislate to give effects to the prescribed provisions. Okay. Okay, under Article 75 of the Under Article 75 of the Federal Constitution, so if any state law is inconsistent, the federal law shall prevail and the state law shall, to the extent of inconsistency, be void. So these are the only aspect we're going to deal with, the